This is for Nulu Mykoshla from Melbourne Musos FaceCooked Live. News has just come in that a new submarine spare part swapping deal has been forged between the dealerships of Boris, Biden, and Bogan. It seems the French are shit out of luck. This new deal has been called the Focus Alliance. We have also just heard that Netflix will no longer transmit to Melbourne. Ratings have plunged due to Melburnians preferring to tune into the ABC News channel screening dystopian nightmarish scenes of zombie Nazis looking for brains on the Westgate Bridge, singing horses, in between earthquakes that were caused by the Dan Andreas fault. We now take you back to some normality with Chris cracking the shits and throwing drumsticks at the camera on Melbourne Musos FaceCooked Live. Let's hope there's no mouse plague coming. Oh, wait.
Oh, what a week! What a week! It's been, hasn't it? Oh, oh, I've got my patches in tonight. How you going? My name's Chris Quinlan, Melbourne Musos FaceCooked Live, and here I am trying to bring a little bit of frivolity to what has been a momentous week for our beloved Melbourne town, which we love and adore. It's my hometown. My lord, my first gig was when I was 10, playing violin with the school. Oh, it made it sound like a cat dying. But I do love the violin. And that's why I've got these patches, because what I want to do tonight I think regular watchers of the show know that my favorite classical composer is Dmitri Shostakovich, and put him up there, put him back on the blue screen, because in times like this, he is the go-to guy. He was a gun. Dmitri Shostakovich was born in 1906 and he passed away in 1975. He worked his way to be the preeminent composer for Russia, and he's famed. Oh, what would you say? His relationship with Stalin, the dictator. Was so famous. Such a brave man. In the 30s, he was denounced and he started to compose at night with a small bag of clothes and different things. Just in case Stalin's secret police came for him in the night, and he said he was just going to go quietly so as not to disturb his wife and children. He was a gun. The things he did. And the reason he wrote heavy stuff is the reason for tonight's show. Honestly, if there was a death metal drummer in the 1930s, he would have used him. His music, sort of so quiet, he would sort of build it up. Symphony number 11 was dedicated to the people of Moscow in 1905 when the Tsar shot down his own people. But his most famous symphony was Symphony number 7. When he was in Leningrad during the siege. And that's during the siege of Leningrad when they were surrounded by Nazis. There it is. I better talk about him a little bit more and stop playing for a little bit. But what I wanted to do on a musical point of view is talk about symmetrical scales. I'm drawing a little bit of a long bow from that bit of drama there. And what it is that what can happen... Hello, hello. Car 54, where are you? Car 54, where are you? Got to go to the Westgate Bridge. They're singing Daryl Braithwaite. And what it is going symmetrical scales, because what happens is, I'd like to talk about that tonight because one of the main themes of Dmitri Shostakovich music was the thematic theme, 4 notes, D, E flat, C and B. If you put them together and study them, it makes the start of a half diminished scale. And with diminished scales, you can only have 2. The reason being is because it is semitone, tone, semitone, tone, semitone, tone. It's symmetrical. So the D, E flat, C, B, if you make it B half diminished, there it is. The only other scale you could do with it is C half diminished to get the rest of the notes. And any note, any one of those notes is basically, can be the root note, okay? Now you've got 2 kinds of diminished scales. You have the diminished scale, which is tone, semitone, tone, semitone, tone, semitone. And what I just described, the half diminished, which is semitone, tone, semitone, tone, that kind of thing there. And what goes on is that Dmitri, drumming with Dmitri, what would Dmitri do? Okay. In 1941, he was writing Symphony number 7 while the joint was under siege by Nazis. And that's what he did. That's why he's such a gun. And what happens is that I've got these, all the notes here to those notes. And what he did, was actually what was going on, was he was teaching his son piano. And he was showing him, and basically, did you know, Papa, that these notes spell your name? In Russian. There you go. And he went, so they do, son. And then it became his theme. And those 4 notes are etched on his gravestone. It became his signature thing. All you had to do was just go. Dmitri. There's a piece called Nazi Zombies.
Looking for brains.
I forgot that bit from The Simpsons. Hang on.
Nazi zombies.
Zombies. Okay, watch out for those zombies. Apparently, Vanula Omakushlov has reported that Netflix is leaving Melbourne because everyone's flocking over to the ABC just to watch the daily shenanigans. All those flocking people. Don't work blue, Chris, don't work blue. Okay, so we're talking about Dmitri. What would Dmitri do? What can also happen with our Dmitri is basically he split thing. He wrote so much music, so many movie scores. He's got symphonies and string quartets. The symphonies were big and, you know, broad, somewhat bombastic in places, but his string quartets were sublime. It seemed, that's the Broadway word they used to rhyme. Frank Zappa. Them or Us album, 1984. Ooh, totally improvised that bit. But what it is when he did his string quartets, it was highly personal. And in some points, you know, it's almost like that. You get the violinists to almost saw through their violins, you see, and that kind of thing. So passionate. And what he could also do was have the most beautiful music, having done all that. You know, bombastic. It was so bombastic, I nearly had a bombasm in my pants. But what goes on here, I'm going to bring in the angels. The angels were singing. Let's have a crack at that. Wrong one, Chris. Let's go there. And here we go. There we go. That's what I get from Dmitri. I'm going to talk about him now. Here we go. I'll get my trusty iPad. There we go. Let's see what we got here. All right. Try again. Hey, there we go. Dmitri Shostakovich, 25th of September, 1906 to the 9th of August, 1975, was a Soviet composer and pianist. He is regarded as one of the major composers of the 20th century with a unique harmonic language and a historic importance due to his years of work under Stalin. Shostakovich achieved fame in the Soviet Union under the patronage of the Soviet Chief of Staff, Mikhail Tukhachevsky, but later had a complex and difficult relationship with the government. Nevertheless, he received accolades and state awards and served in the Supreme Soviet of the RSFSR 1947 and the Supreme Soviet of the Soviet Union from 1962 until his death. A polystylist, Shostakovich developed a hybrid voice combining a variety of different musical techniques into his works. His music is characterized by sharp contrast, elements of the grotesque, and ambivalent tonality. Ambivalent, I tell you. He was also heavily influenced by the neoclassical style pioneered by Igor. The rates have gone up. Sorry. Igor Stravinsky, come on, let's get it straight, Chris. And especially in his symphonies by the late Romanticism of Gustav Mahler. Oof, heavy shit. Shostakovich's orchestral works. What's happening with my teeth today? They are mine. Come on, work, fellas. Shostakovich's orchestral works include 15 symphonies and 6 concerti. Concerti. Okay, do you like my concerti? His chamber output included 15 string quartets, a piano quintet, 2 piano trios, and 2 pieces for string octet. His solo piano works include the 2 sonatas, an early set of preludes, and a later set of 24 preludes and fugues. Other works include 3 operas, several song cycles, ballets, and a substantial quantity of film music. Especially well known is the Waltz No. 2 from the Suite for Variety Orchestra, as well as the suite of music extracted from the Gadfly. In 1934, I don't even need to read it, I'll put it down there. In 1934, he did a piece of music called The Lady of Macbeth, or as a variation of that in 1934. Stalin turned up, didn't like it, and lots of trouble. You know, you better get the next one right, comrade. But what he was, one of the things he was, without any kind of political ideology, is he absolutely loved his town. He absolutely adored it. When World War II struck, and then the Nazis started to, basically it was the siege of Leningrad. He had bad eyesight, and he was the preeminent composer even then as a fairly young man. You know, that kind of, still in his 30s, only just into his 30s really. And he's gone from being, in 1934, writing down notes that would, you know, no, they were the wrong notes, brother, like that kind of thing. Or when he became part of the fire brigade of Leningrad, there's a time picture of him, one of those crazy gold helmets and stuff. He was a fireman. I digress. Let's get into the next little bit here. I'm going to go across to the orchestral harp now. And what I'm going to do... talk about the whole tone scale. One of his contemporaries was Claude Debussy. Although the timeline was a bit different because Claude Debussy passed away in 1918 and but the whole tone scale made up of whole tones, right? Yeah. If you've got a guitar in front of you, it's every 2 frets. Up the string, mate. What do you call it? Sort of a multi-tonality there to a certain degree. There's no real resolving. All right. That's what happens there. So I better start thinking about wrapping the show up. Oh boy, it went so quick, I told you. Dmitri, what would Dmitri do in times like this? He went through a few times like this. I'm going back to his 4 notes because I like them very much. And back to his strings, he would have those violinists soaring through their Stradivari. As I said, Symphony 7. dedicated to the people of Leningrad. I was singing that on the Westgate Bridge. I'm out! Go and listen to the Dead Kennedys. Nazi punks, Nazi punks. See?
Looking for brains. Looking for brains.